Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So for today's lesson, you are going to read page 14 and you are going to do all the tasks on page 14 and also page 15. Okay, so for your first task for today is you have to turn to page 14, and while you are reading, you are going to listen to the audio of the reading text. Okay, before you read the text and listen to the audio, I would like you to look at B. Okay, once you look at B, I would like you to identify which is the best sentences that summarizes the text. So what you need to do is you try to understand the text overall, and then you choose from A, B, C, D which one is actually the right the right definition of the text. Okay, so how did it be? Okay, so when you start with your work, you don't forget, okay, before you move on to other exercises, you write down B and which one is the answer, whether it's A, B, C or D. Just write whether it's A or B or C or D without writing this points. Okay, now you may start listen to the audio.
1B. Read.
B. Read the text quickly. Which sentence best summarizes the text? Choose A, B, C or D. From brick to smartphone, the evolution of the mobile phone. In 1973, Martin Cooper invented a portable mobile phone. It was the Dynatac, and in 1983 it was available in shops. Dynatac phones were large and weighed about a kilogram. They were also very expensive, but people used to buy them like crazy. However, people complained that you could only talk for an hour before needing to charge them again. So soon, heavy shoulder packs with batteries in them were introduced. These gadgets became very trendy in the 80s, and actors appeared in many films of the time chatting to friends on their new high-tech device. Because of their size and shape, these early mobiles became known as bricks. They seem like dinosaurs compared to the devices we are used to seeing today. The first generation, 1G, of mobile phone systems had weak signals and many problems. As technology improved, mobiles became smaller and offered more features. In the 90s, the introduction of 2G mobile systems meant improved reception over wider areas. They also included the ability to send small amounts of data, such as short message service, SMS messages. The first SMS was sent in the UK on the 3rd of December 1992. Today, over 2 trillion text messages are sent every year. Mobiles continued to improve, with coloured screens and a wide variety of ringtones. Another important development was the introduction of cameras on mobile phones. Camera phones became hugely popular and changed the world of journalism. In 2004, the Indian Ocean earthquake was the first event in which most of the videos on the news were provided by camera phones instead of professional camera crews. In the early 2000s, 3G mobile internet was introduced, which made it possible for people to use a new generation of smartphones. These devices have large touchscreens and act as internet browsers, media players, and game consoles all in one. They have also made video calling and mobile TV a reality. With the introduction of 4G mobile internet, the speed with which phones can both download and upload information to the internet is far greater than ever before. Of course, companies are always coming up with new ideas and exciting concept mobiles. Some of these ideas include solar panels on the back of the phone for charging, a flexible phone that can bend around your wrist, and even a phone that uses cola to charge its battery. Everyone is trying to find the next big step in the evolution of mobile phones. But what will it be? Only time will tell.
Okay, so once you have already read the text on page 14, okay, I will allow you to do the exercise on page 15. Okay, look at C first. Look at the highlighted words, phrases in the text and try to guess what they mean. Then match them with the meanings 1 to 7 below. Okay, if you look at the text on page 14, you're going to find out there are several words which are highlighted. Okay, so from that word, you pick which is actually presents the meaning of the word from the list here, number 1 until number 7. Alright, so please pick the highlighted words only to be written here. So you write down the highlighted words, whether it's number 1 or number 7. Okay, so what you need to do, you don't have to copy down the whole thing, just write down C, what's the answer. Okay, so now let's look at D. Read the text again and write T for true, F for false, or NM for not mentioned. Okay, what do you mean by not mentioned? Let's say, once you read the text, okay, let's say, for example, number 1. Dynatec phones weren't very popular when they first appeared in shops. Okay, perhaps it is not mentioned in the text about whether it is popular or whether it is not popular. So when it's not mentioned at all in the text, you write NM, not mentioned. Okay? True or false actually for the statements that have already been written in the text, but they write the wrong phrases or the wrong subjects in the sentences. Okay, that is the meaning of whether it is false, whether it is a false sentence. Not mentioned is when you try to find the sentence in the text, but it is not mentioned at all. Tidak disebut di dalam teks. Alright? Okay, so please be careful when you try to write whether it is T, F, or N, M. Okay? Alright, for the next sentence is, or for the next exercise is about vocabulary. Okay, vocabulary. What do the verbs in bold mean? Match them with the definition A or H. Okay, so arguing. So which one tells about arguing? Is it talk about something in order to come to a decision? Or talk about other people and their private life? So please write your answers here. Okay, okay, sorry, so you're not writing the answers here. So what you need to do is you just write 1B, vocabulary, A, number 1. If the answer is B, number 1, B. Okay, people, look at the exercise B here. So they say look at the nouns below. Which verbs do they derive from? Alright, let's look at the note first. A lot of nouns are formed by adding a suffix such as in, Asian, meant to a verb. Pay attention to spelling irregularities. Okay, for example, introduce is actually a verb. When you add ION, it becomes introduction. It becomes a noun. Okay. Decide is a verb, mengambil keputusan. But when you add ION here, it becomes decision, means keputusan. Receive means terima, it is a verb. When you add tion, shen, it becomes a reception, penerimaan. Explain is a verb, menerangkan. But when you add tion, it becomes explanation, keterangan. So, from here, imagine if you add something, it becomes a noun. Imagine a verb. membayangkan. So when you change to shen, imagination, it becomes bayangan or hayalan. Alright, so please do this from 1 to number 7. Okay, the last activity for today is your listening activity. So it's very simple for the listening activity. You listen to the audio and then you write down the answer. So write down or jot down in your exercise book, listen, number 1, the answer which one. Okay, you don't have to copy this one. Okay, so you listen carefully to the audio. Alright?
Listen. B. Listen to a radio program with body language expert Dr. Susan Madison and complete the sentences below.
Good afternoon. Today with us we have a special guest, Dr. Susan Madison, who is a body language expert. Welcome, Susan.
Hello.
Now, you're going to talk to us about the messages we send out to other people, not through words, but through movements and changes in our bodies, right?
Yes, body language is a very important form of communication. Reading body language signals can be a helpful way to understand one another better. It certainly is very useful for parents who worry and complain about not communicating well with their teenage children, because what their mouth doesn't say, their body will.
So, what signs do we need to be looking out for?
Well, this non-verbal form of communication consists of body posture, gestures, facial expressions and eye movement. Let me give you an example. Slumped body posture. Standing up straight shows that a person is feeling confident and comfortable. But if your teenager is walking in a slumped position, he or she may well be feeling self-conscious. You know, shy and not feeling sure of him or herself. Unhappy or a bit down.
So slumped body posture is something negative.
No, don't get me wrong. It's just an indication. He or she might also be feeling okay, but is just thinking about something. It depends on what's normal for your teen.
Now, I often see teenagers with their hands in their pockets. What does that mean?
It could mean lots of things. They could be nervous, worried, bored, or hiding something. Of course, sometimes it is just a good way to keep your hands warm when it's cold.
Of course. So there is a lot to think about when trying to understand body language.
Yes, and I haven't even told you about eye movement yet. It is very common for teenagers to not want to make eye contact with adults. If they are not able to look you straight in the eye, this can mean that their self-confidence has not developed yet.
Isn't it also a sign of lying?
Yes, often when a person knows that what they are saying is false, they look down as they don't want to look at the other person in the eye. Another important sign is if they look up and to the left as they are talking to you. This is a common sign of not telling the truth.
Very useful.
Well, yes, but we must be careful. Most body language experts say that we need to look for at least 4 body language signals that mean the same emotion before we come to any conclusions. So, in this case, apart from eye movement, we should look at the person's hand movements, as they can tell us.
Okay, people, so I do hope that you can complete all the tasks, because once you have completed all the tasks by today, all the tasks on page 14 and 15 should be done by today, because you are given a long time and ample time, okay, to do your English today. So please complete all the tasks by today, and please fill in the survey form of completing the task, and take a picture and snap the picture and send it to our group. Don't send it personally. Alright? Okay, see you then.